Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So the 66 PLL is finished, and what a PLL it was. We finally have a glimpse of what we can expect of Endwalker job action wise. Also a good look at some of the new areas style, so it was a double header for us. But we're here to talk about the main event of the evening, the changes to the jobs going into Endwalker. And without further delay, let's go. We start with the tanks, and we will go over some changes done to the role itself that all tanks will share across the board. Using your defensive cooldowns at the right time in the fight will get you extra benefits. Explain this as not about pairing timings, but more about predicting tank buster. For instance, if you're able to do that, you might have a stronger CD. This seems to be an expansion of the intervention mechanic that the Paladin has. If you're under the effect of Rampart or Sentinel and you cast intervention on another party member, effectively casting a shield on them before, say, a tank buster, then your intervention coupled with your Rampart / Sentinel will be 50% stronger. This seems to be the case, but now applies to all tanks as it will be implemented as a role mechanic. The tank's ranged attacks, aka Tomahawk and Shield Lob, just to name a few, no longer break your standard melee rotation. This is a huge change, and one that makes it easier on the tank to keep his assault on the boss, even when a fight demands that you break from melee range. They seem to be integrated in your rotation, now sharing the GCD with weapon skills, making the transition from range to melee and back to range seamless, and most importantly, unbroken. The magic and physical damage formula for weapon skills have been reworked as well, and Yoshida wanted to touch on that aspect in light of the up-and-coming Mediator. The magic damage was always higher than the physical one. What happens now is that the physical is equalized with the magic, but both of those will appear to do less damage. This will simply not be true. It's just due to the damage output adjustment for Endwalker that appears that way. In all factuality, the same percentage of damage is being done, only difference being you see lower numbers on screen, but the speed in which you kill will remain the same. Alright, now it's time to move on to the specific job changes that we have available so far. Please note that these are not the full list of adjustments or changes to the jobs. So the Paladin will be a straight evolution of what he is in Shadowbringers. His moveset is extended and improved, but very much keep its mechanical integrity. There's no major changes to the way he's played, but there are adjustments. To start off with, we are no longer required to be at least 8 KMP to start your Rekuscat combo. It will always proc that instacast for Holy Spirits now. However, I would still recommend being full on MP to complete the rotation. And we do get the addition of a combo which starts with Confiteor. This will extend the combo even further, and if I had to venture a guess, it's probably a physical combo that bridges back to your Goring Blade, as we, at this point, probably already bottom out all of our mana. And lastly, the Gap Closer Intervene as its range increase by 5 yalms, which will bring the total range to 20 yalms. Next up, we have the Warrior. And this one has some changes in how we manage the rat meter as well as your dot. First up, you can maintain and activate your Storm's Eye buff using AoE combos, making the Warrior a smoother fighter as you now have multiple paths to achieve the same goal. Onslaught and Upheaval will no longer use Rat. These two moves will not drain the Beast Cage. Onslaught especially is adjusted to have 3 charges and will now be your Gap Closer on call. It also has a stun effect. If I'm wrong about the stun effect, do correct me in the comments below. Inner release cooldown will be adjusted to 60 seconds. Inner release being what triggers your new action coming in Endwalker. Now, moving on to the Dark Knight. The new action will be preceded by Salted Earth, which has been changed to be cast immediately around you, instead of you having manually place it on the ground. Simulacrum will, as of Endwalker, proc a new action as well, with your Living Shadow now being able to perform some new actions. Delirium's cooldown will be adjusted to 60 seconds, and Plunge's range will be increased by 5 yalms, making the max range 20 yalms. And finally, a new defensive action will be added to the roster on Endwalker. And now we arrive to the Gunbreaker. Savage Claw and Wicked Talon will swap in for Gnashing Fang, making this combo a one-button combo, reducing the amount of inputs needed for the same effect. This means that Gnashing Fang will be the starter of the combo, preceding Savage Claw and Wicked Talon, saving you some space on your hotbar. Continuation can now be used right after Burst Strike, and a third cartridge has been added to the Gunbreaker meter by means of a new trait. Ref Divide range has been increased to 20 ohms as well, matching the other gap closers on other tanks. And this is all of the changes and adjustments to the tank roles and specific jobs that we got from this PLL. I hope it helps. Thank you so much for watching the video, and until the next one, peace out.